This is what they've come up with, the Range Rover Sport.
They say that making it was a challenge, and I'm not surprised, because things which are tall are not sporty. I know this.
Even so, this new car goes from 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. And it has so much power that the top speed has had to be pegged at 140 to stop the tyres bursting. And what's more, Land Rover say it's not just fast in a straight line. They say that thanks to some fancy new anti-roll bars, it can also handle the bends.
They're right, it does. The steering's sharp, the brakes are massive, it doesn't roll too much. Bump and then a bend, and it just takes it all in its stride. I'll tell you, it's very, very good, this. It's really very, very, very good.
I'd say it was even more nimble than a Porsche Cayenne Turbo, and more comfortable, and more economical. Probably do 12 miles to the gallon, if you're careful.
And then there's the driving position. See, in a normal off-road car, you sit up high and you have to kind of reach down to operate everything. But in this, I'm still sitting high up, but they've raised the center console and the whole dashboard, so I feel cocooned, like I'm in the cockpit of a fighter bomber. We're now cruising at 35,000 feet, which we are.
So, quite an achievement then, turning a mud-plugging Range Rover into a growling Nighthawk mud mover. Except they haven't, because this isn't a Range Rover. I know it looks like a Range Rover, but the Sport is 5 inches shorter and lower. The two cars don't share a single piece of bodywork, and it's the same story underneath. The chassis is from the new Discovery. The brakes are from Brembo. The supercharged 4.2-litre V8 engine is from Jaguar, and so's the steering. And it uses the same sort of suspension components as a Porsche 911. Sounds great, but there are some drawbacks.
If that pulled up outside your house, you'd think, oh no, a drug dealer is here. And then there are some of the details. I mean, the radiator grille, for example, looks like the sort of towel rail that would be bought by the left back for Cheshire United. Then you've got this black stuff here around the bottom of the window. I know why they've done it, to cover up the fact the dashboard's been raised, but it's ugly. And so are the side skirts. But the worst thing of all is the tailgate, because on a proper Range Rover, it splits like that. On this one, you can either open the rear window for no reason that I can think of, or you can open the whole tailgate. Fine, but you're at a point-to-point, okay? Without a flappy bit down here, where do you sit?
Of course, the Sport is cheaper than a proper Range Rover. You can have one with a turbo diesel V6 for £34,000, which is almost cheaper than a horse.
But I'm sorry, you can't have this car with a diesel engine. It'd be like saying, well, I won't go to Stringfellows tonight, I'll get my mum to give me a lap dance. She's a woman? Yeah, but...
You have to have this £59,000 supercharged V8 because, taste and tailgate aside, it really does seem to have all the bases covered. It's a high-riding fat boy hot hatch, a satellite-guided stereo with 20-inch rim.
It's also a 140-mile-an-hour mobile phone, it's a living room, it's got a fridge, and I'm fairly sure that somewhere in here there's a tool for getting the stones out of horses' hooves.
It seems to do everything.